Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy, and we have back in the house Mr. Lee Hickle. Hey brother, how
I'm
you
back.
doing?
Man, it's a
Yeah,
good day to be back.
you're back, that's for sure. So Aaron's been filling in for you for the last few weeks, and I was going to try to get Aaron. I was like, man, I'm going to end up having 5 people on the screen, and we're all going to be bunched in
Right?
there. So I was like, well, at least if I have you on, we can talk a little bit about your barbecue adventures over the last five weeks. So
Right, right.
Tennessee, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Indiana. You've been all over the country, and we'll talk a little bit about your world food stuff that you
You
had
bet.
going on. So anyway, it was quite fun hanging out with you at the Jack and the American Royal. So
Yes, sir.
glad that you're back home and back on our podcast. We really appreciate it. Got
Yes,
Gordon
sir.
already on here. We got Mr. Bobby on here tonight. And he's cruising down the road on I-20. That's about right. So,
hmm
oh, goodness. Real quick, we'll give a shout out to our partners here. Can't thank enough the barbecue store, Gunnar Wilhelm. Mr. David does an amazing job with those knives. Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue sauces and glazes and Raider Red Meats. If you're looking for some Prairie Fresh ribs, they've got them and they can hook you up with ribs
hmm
and pork butts. So we always appreciate all of our partners and all the support that they've given us over the last 5.5 years. So Matt, we appreciate you being here. Look at here. Mr. Joe, hello from Buffalo. How about them Bills the other day,
Buffalo.
man?
Yeah, right.
That was
That was a
one
good
heck. It
win.
was a good game right there. They're a for
Yeah.
real team. So anyway, but yeah, let's real quick run into your little deal out at the World Food. I know there was what 15, 17 teams.
Yeah. I think 17 signed up, but only 15 teams showed up. Uh, I showed up, with Hiram Quintana from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, my executive sous chef. And this year I had Team Navy on my side, the 2022 SCA World Champion Ken Perkins, to go into battle to defend my live fire world champion title from last year. Well, at the end of the day, it didn't work out. It's kind of hard to go back to back
Right. Yep.
champions, but
Yep.
we were pleased. We knew we turned in good product, and we finished eighth overall. We didn't make it to the final rounds, but we turned in everything we could. Good job from World Food Championship, Mike McLeod and his group and staff. Mission 0 100 hours. That was the whole purpose of us going up there to World Food. Our 22 veterans a day commit suicide, so we did a big fundraiser, and we raised over $25,000 just in a few weeks.
Wow.
With we had 33, 34 veterans show up that were on orders that we brought up there, and combined between all of us, over $25,000 we raised for the cause. So we do
Wow.
appreciate everybody who donated a little bit of money for the cause. All that goes right back into the program to help a veteran live one more day, because barbecue does save lives.
Yep.
Had a great turnout. Chris Davis, man, good for him. He represented Team Marine Alpha. Each of the 5 military branches they had 2 teams, Alpha and Bravo. And the first round was tacos. He had to cook tacos, and it was a 1 round elimination. And then either Alpha or Bravo team from each service was eliminated. End of the day, there was 5 teams left, 1 from each branch. And the Coast Guard, they bring in their culinary master chefs who cook for the president and the Pentagon and the White House and prime ministers and all that. They just happened to be there cooking for the world food under their own categories, and they had some that didn't make it to the final, so they came over and they joined the battle of the military branches.
Right.
So it turned out Chris Davis led Team Alpha Marine to the grand champion. He beat
Wow.
he beat Team Coast Guard, who cooks every day for the president and the commandant and all that. So
Wow.
congratulations, Team Alpha Marines, led by Chris Davis, who is here locally out of with Seguin, New Braunfels, San
Right.
Antonio area.
Right.
So, and what's funny is the day before was the Marines' birthday. We figured that I'll be drunk and hung over and everything else, but because Marines, they like to party pretty
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he came in there and he led those troops. And congratulations, Chris. If you look on the World Food Championship webpage, you'll see Chris Davis and his fellow Marines raising up the grand champion trophy. It's almost like the Iwo Jima pose
right,
of the raising the American flag. It's just
right.
it was such a tearful, great moment up there to watch these veterans smile and get out of their their elements that they have a
Yeah,
hard time with every day, and
yeah,
just a good time. But even though I didn't win again or go to the finals, man, I was proud to represent Mission Zero 100 hours and just spent all week up there in Indianapolis, Indiana.
right.
And man, if anybody can qualify, go do a qualification cook.
Yeah,
Man, there's 12 different categories you can go try to get in on.
right,
So it is a long way from Dallas where it was the last 5 years, but
right.
uh, between the last 3 weeks and 5 days, I put over 3,000 miles on my truck.
Phew.
And you got to remember, I was parked a lot of those times.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so if I had drove every day, it'd been a little different. But over 3,000 miles, so it was worth it. Glad to be home. Proud of everybody who supported and who gave and who reached out to me for a good job and hang in there. So
right, right.
yeah, it's been
Yeah,
a
that's good.
busy month. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You've been very busy doing lots and lots of traveling. So, well, I tell you what, glad to have you back, and glad you had safe travels and didn't have no trailer issues. Ain't that something? Ain't it
None.
amazing? Ain't it amazing what a little maintenance? I have been on leave for the last
Mm.
2 years. Maintenance, 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 and he's. I will have to
Let me
say,
tell you, if you do not own a tire pressure monitoring system for your trailer, go on Amazon, buy one today.
yeah,
It'll definitely save you. It'll let you know if your tire pressure is low or high and your wheel bearings are hot or cold.
yeah,
So it'll alert and give you time to pull over.
yeah,
So definitely do that.
absolutely. Well, we got a couple grand champions on the hot seat tonight.
Yeah, we do.
I know one is Mr. Steve Cumby. We'll bring him in. He has been on absolute fire. Still kind of maybe second guessing myself on putting these classes out, but I asked
Right?
him, was he going to take
Appreciate
it
it, Mike.
easy? Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I asked him, was he going to show up in Denton? He said, yeah. I said, man, I can get you a cruise, for you and your wife that first weekend in December.
Hmm.
I don't think he's taking that. Steve, man, I tell you what, it's congratulations. I mean, this is what, four grand champions in a reserve, three grand
Uh,
champions in a three
it's
grands in a
three.
reserve.
It's three grands, and
Three
I'm.
grands in a reserve out of your last five competitions.
No, well, no, I didn't reserve. That was, I think.
Was was it somebody else? I
Yeah, it
thought
was
you had a
somebody else, I
reserve.
think. But
Okay,
I got 3 grands in my last 5
five
events. Yeah,
competition.
yeah.
Wow.
Man, I tell you, that is absolutely awesome, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited to sit here on this side and watching you win. I don't know how I'm gonna feel when we go head to head, but
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
yeah, you're gonna see me in a couple weeks. So
I may come to Taste of Blanchard too. I may start following you around.
yeah,
Oh,
great. Thanks
that's
a
a good
lot.
cook off. That's a good cook
Now
off. Yeah.
there was a deal in that non-disclosure agreement that you can't follow me around.
Oh, was that?
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'll go back.
it was down there in section something five ABC or something. It was whited out most of it. You probably didn't get that copy. So,
So is there
but
something behind the scenes that we don't know about between Steve and you, Mike? What's
what's
this
that?
non-disclosure agreement? What do you mean by that?
Oh,
Oh,
when they took
Mike
the
took Mike's
class.
class. Mike had
Yeah.
Oh
his live
yeah.
in
You,
person class a couple months ago, or 3 months ago,
oh,
whatever
I
it
don't
was.
know. I don't think the viewers knew that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, when I did my in-person class back in September, August, end of August, I think is when it was.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it was right around the end of August, and I had everybody sign a non-disclosure agreement. Steve was one of our students, and he's had five competitions since then and three grand champions, and he has just been on absolute fire.
hmm.
So we've had some good turnout from some of our cooks. I've got another guy that was down in South Houston, Texas area he's racked up some pretty good wins as well, and it's been going good, and it's good to be able to help people and a lot of techniques. I think Steve would tell you more than anything. There were some things that they've learned that they just couldn't quite wrap their head around, and
I still don't understand some of it.
it just, I mean, we literally went over it for 2 hours, and
Yeah.
finally, I think people started to really get the grasp of it. But it's some stuff that's kind of way out there. So, but it works, I mean, it's worked for me. I have been very consistent my entire cooking career that I've had. What 10 years of that it is, and so far, Steve's kind of showing the same thing. He took it, and he grasped it, he understood it, and You know, he's had a question here or there, and I've been there to answer his questions and try to help him. And
Yep.
it's been pretty strong for him too. So anyway, we're super happy for you, dude. Really am.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
Yeah.
Stephen
Thank you.
Peacock said he'll pitch in on that cruise as well. So maybe we can get you a twofer on that. So anyway, but we'll talk a little bit more about that, Steve. We're going to get our next guest in
Yeah.
here, and man, this guy's no stranger to the Deadgum Winter Circle, Mr. Chuck Long with Texas Rebel Smokehouse. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Doing good, Mike. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, Chuck. It's certainly good to see you out on the competition trail. I know you was in a really bad car accident, got rear-ended back in April, and lady hit you at what 70 miles an hour, parked at a red light, and just total devastation of your truck, and kind of messed you up, and got some neck issues and back and all that stuff. But I hope you're going to be on the road to recovery, and it was great. Was this your first cook-off since that? Because if I haven't seen you out, but that doesn't mean that you did. I didn't see it on Facebook.
We've had a couple, but
Okay.
uh, but yeah, it's good to be back. I have, since April, I hadn't been able to cook like I wanted to, but I'm ready to get back in the
Right.
things and really go after it again. But
Right.
Mhm.
So, talk a little bit about the cook-off. Now, this is the one that Aaron and Leslie put on there in Midland, Texas, for his grandson to help raise some money. And how many teams they end up having? Wasn't it a pretty big turnout?
yeah, we ended up having, I believe, 38 teams.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Wow, that's good.
That's
good.
out, here around West Texas, and
Right.
it's for a wonderful cause, his grandson, and this one is very near and dear to my heart. That
Right.
that family is such a great family, and every one of them, is that. To me, they're really not barbecue family; they are family.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that grand right there
Meant a lot to you.
means a lot.
Yeah, I figured it did. When I saw that you had won it, I know you're very close with Aaron and the entire family. I've seen y'all cook, gosh, 2 or 3 years ago. Y'all were just, every time y'all turned around, when he was cooking, you was pretty much well there with him. And I just thought it would be really special to get you on so you could kind of talk a little bit about that. And so what's your plan? You was telling us you're cooking on a new smoker, so why don't we talk a little bit about that and what you're cooking on now?
Yeah, I haven't totally gotten away from drums. I still have a couple with me, but we got a backyard jambo here a few months ago and been playing with it, and it's definitely helped my cooking quite a bit.
Right.
And, I figured it might be a little bit more of a learning curve than what it was, but like you alluded to earlier, I've helped Aaron quite a bit on some of these cooks, and helped him run his big jambo, and
Right.
it just kind of come like second nature, I guess.
Right.
We fired it up and let her purr and let her do what the jambos do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it take longer to cook your chicken on that jambo than the drum?
What now?
Does it take your chicken longer to cook on the jambo than your drum?
Oh yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but
You've got that dialed in, apparently.
it gives it that little bit different flavor.
Right.
The drum does. You don't get quite as much as that charcoal flavor. We'll see. I still use the drum. The ribs will hit it, the brisket will hit it.
Right. Do you do that at the beginning before your wrap, or do you put them on a drum after you wrap, Chuck?
I have been putting them on the drum after my wrap.
Putting them on the drum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After.
Okay. So you're getting the smoky flavor, everything on the jambo, then you wrap them, and then put them in the drum.
Well, no. After I take them out of the wrap, everything hits the drum.
Hits the drum.
Yeah.
Okay. You're kind of setting sauces and all that stuff on the drum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we're trying to get secrets, Chuck, but we're just trying to get secrets out of you,
Right.
just
Like
taking
what?
notes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's the
know.
subtle approach, Chuck. We know we're real smooth
Yeah.
about this,
Gonna
we
ease into it.
we don't want to do like the Shig and Fried over there. Them guys just flat come. We got to be a little bit more subtle than their game plan because they'll corner you in a hurry. So, goodness gracious. Well, that's interesting though that you're able to still use some of your drums, but you like that Jambo. I mean, it is a nice pit. I had the opportunity to win the Ennis competition here. I don't know, 3 years ago, I guess 2 years, 3 years ago, and it was a beautiful pit. And I was like, man, Jamie, I'm not getting off my rotisserie, man. As much as I'd like to have it, I just am not giving up my rotisserie. Plus, that thing wouldn't have fit in my trailer anyway. So he ended up saying, hey, don't worry. I can put this thing for sale Monday, and I've got 12 people that'll buy it. So he was nice enough to take it off my hands and give me a little cash for it. And he said, it's sold. Don't even worry about it. But it is an absolutely beautiful pit, even for his backyard. I mean, I think it's about a $5,500 pit. Now, that was 3 years ago. I'm sure it's more than that now. And but it is a work of art. I mean, that guy really does build a beautiful pit. So
Sure does.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know, I
So
thought
go
crazy.
ahead.
I've cooked on drums for so long, and that's where most all my wins have come off of is drums. But I started on an offset when I first started back in 2016, and I like the different color that your ribs and your brisket will get on an offset versus
Right.
versus a drum.
For a drum. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Steve,
What kind of wood do you use? Real quick, what kind of wood do you use in your Jambo compared to your drum?
Same. I run pecan.
Pecan. Okay. Yep. Hard to beat pecan. It's just such a smooth flavor. It's not overpowering, and it's really good. What are you cooking on, Steve?
Uh, cook chicken and brisket on cans, and then ribs in a pellet smoker. Actually,
Okay, doing a pellet cooker.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Started it a couple of years ago, and hit the CBA Worlds. I hit an eighth rib out of 100 and something cooks with it, and
Right.
thought I'm gonna stick with that for a while. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
been
you
good.
have to.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to push a button on those things and just let it rip. And I'll tell you what, pellet cookers are freaking phenomenal for ribs. It
Yeah.
is just the way that,
Right.
that was one of the things I talked about in the class, just the way that they're constructed and the movement of air in those things, man, they're really, really good. And, it's a rib. It doesn't need a lot of smoke anyway. It's a really small piece of meat that's not very thick. So what little smoke they put out, it picks it up pretty well on a rib. So man, that's a good combo.
I like
Drums
it.
and
Although I just bought it. I was just down at Jamie's house a couple weeks ago and bought a Jambo from him. So I was planning on starting it at the beginning of the year.
nah. I think you need to start it December the
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
6th.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go on and move that up, and
We'll
you
see.
know, let's. Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, come on, it's a Jambo. I mean, it just look at Chuck. Chuck rolls his out. He got off drums, roll out there, and gets a grand champion right off the get go. So, yeah, that's it.
I'm looking forward to trying it out, but I think it's going to stay in the garage until I figure out if I'm going to make a run at 7.
Right. Well, you've
So
got 3 right now.
Why
Yeah.
would you not? Yeah, you've
Yeah, I
already
mean,
committed.
yeah, if I
I
get
mean,
another 1 or 2 in the early spring, then I'll for sure do it.
if you get
you still
another
have what
one,
nine more months to get
yeah,
4
Is
more.
that when is
yeah,
when's the cutoff date?
July the 31st.
Oh yeah, okay, then
You got to go. I
yeah, I'll
mean,
go for it.
you need to put the throttle down. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing like the Jack. If you've never
He
been,
says with a barrel head behind
yeah,
him.
it is nothing like that place. That is a very, very special place. Man, I thought the American Royal was really cool when I first went in 2017. I didn't go back until 2021, and now I've been back 21, 22, 23, and 24, the last 4 straight. And I got a chance to go to the Jack last year with Sweetie. And man, that place was really cool. I was like, this is a different vibe. I mean, you got 80 killer teams from all over the world, all across the United States. And it's just what makes it to me. And Lee, you've been there, you've cooked it, you was there this year. it's just like it's such a smaller area compared to like the American Royal. It's so big at the American Royal, you just get lost in the moment out there. It's 500 teams and stinking, bigger than a football infield that you're running around in. And but when you go to the Jack, it's just it's real low keyed. It's real quiet. There's not a lot of partying, and it's just a surreal place. That like, man, these are some bad cooks here, man. So
Right.
if you've never been, I wished everybody could go. It's hard to. It's very hard to get to that place unless if you you auto 7, baby, you're in. The only way you're going to get to the Jack is if you auto it, and that's hard to do. So, I would put your foot down. I would try to find as many competitions as I could that makes it and go for it. So,
and Steve, you're up in Fort Worth, is that right?
Yeah.
So, man, you're in a pretty good area. You can do all kind of cook-offs every weekend. It seems like.
Yeah, we're. I've kind of been looking at the schedule. I'm not cooking San Antonio this weekend, but I'm next one's going to be the Outlaw Roundup, and then I'm probably going down to
Uvalde.
Yeah, Uvalde after that, and then probably hit up a couple of CBAs in January. That I did the world. I like the World Championship they do down in Seguin, and then the what's that one I cooked last year in Houston, or in New Caney? What's the one in New Caney? Hold 'em and hit 'em.
Hold 'em and hit 'em. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Didn't do any good, but
right. Wow.
So, and then
that's where I cooked that's where I cooked my 13-minute chicken. I got first place, 61 teams. At the Hold 'em and hit 'em.
Hold 'em and hit 'em.
Yep. From raw done turned in, 61 teams, first place.
Yeah, we don't even want to. I'm sure it probably burned all the porcelain and paint off of his smoker. So, but he did get it done. So
550 degrees, I cooked that chicken, and it got first place. So I do like that cook-off also. Yeah. That's a fun cook-off.
He gave a new meaning to hot and fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a neat place. Yeah.
Yeah. James, better late than never. Glad to have you back to the party, James. And he made it. He made it. So, oh goodness. Well, Chuck, are you going to try to get some more cooks? I think we had talked a little bit about this. What's your schedule kind of looking like for next year? You going to try to get out and cook a little bit more?
Well, I'm hoping to. Just depends on what happens with this neurosurgeon in January. So,
okay.
I'm gonna, see him, see what he says, and if it's surgery, then we'll get that done, taken care of, and get over that, and then go from there. But I don't know. I really like that Uvalde cook-off, so we may try to run up there. We've been there a couple times, and man, that's just a great cook-off.
Yeah,
that one. Put that one on your list. I mean, they really take care of the cooks, and so.
I hear it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I've heard it.
It is.
It's
Wade does a good job on that cook-off. The whole community does a good job on that cook-off.
Right. So, wow. Well, that's interesting. Well, and Steve, I know you're going to make a run for it. I mean, you have to now. We're going to just keep ragging you until you actually do it. So
you got to convince my wife. That's the hard part in this equation. So
right. Wow.
I'm game, but
she'll have to understand. I mean, hey, this is very. I'll just tell her I'll take you to Lynchburg, Tennessee. We'll take you to the Jack Daniels. So,
exactly. Well,
like,
just do what Mike does with Suzette. He gives her $20 and she goes shopping all weekend.
There you go. I'm a tightwad, man. I mean, follow me for more tips and value, guys. I can show you how to do this. So, you start off small. I mean, when they say, hey, I need some money, we know where they're wanting to get. You just start way, way below that. And when they look at you, like, you just, okay, give them one more. And they look at you again, like, come on, can we get a little? And then you give them that one more. So she's shooting for 100. I started at 20 and she's only leaving with 60 for the weekend. And she feels like she got on me because she got doubled up for what I was going to give her. So now Alan Freeman, when Vivian's in, it just, he does.
I I was
He's a
going to
wuss.
ask if you and Alan conspired to do the same thing.
No, Alan's a wuss. He won't stand up. I was like, put your foot down, buddy. I mean, you gotta tell him, like, no, this is what you're getting. Hey, man, look who we got. We got Mr. Chicken Fried in here. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Mr. Home Depot.
Yeah, man, Bill,
Yeah.
congratulations, brother. I was going to call you today, and I got so busy. You will be getting a call from me tomorrow, man. But I don't know if everybody saw the big post, but Bill rubs are getting in a Home Depot. I think it's going to be 600 locations and then eventually going to a couple thousand or something. I just read the post here not too long ago. Man, that's huge. And he wanted to thank everybody that's bought his rubs, his brines, that's tagged him, that's helped him in any way, shape, or form. Like he said, it would not have been possible without everyone's help. And man, that's huge to be able to get. If anybody was deserving of it, it's that man right there. So
true story.
Absolutely awesome. I can't wait. And his new stuff, man, apparently it practically sold out in the first 4 days. So I don't even know if he's got any more ordered or not. I don't know. I thought I would have got a care package, maybe one dropped in the mail or something, but I hadn't seen it yet. So
is that the sweet rub?
Grind? Yeah, the sweet grind, I think is what it's called. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, Bill, man. We're really, really happy for you. So let's see what we got here. I'm betting you have to ask her for money. No. No. Alan Freeman, where Alan Freeman shots are fired. Alan cannot say nothing. So he just like whatever she wants. I was like, no, man, you can't do that. So anyway, Bill Purvis is great for competition barbecue. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. 100%, James.
Right.
100%. So really, really happy for him. Got Mr. Sean in the house tonight. That's awesome. Congratulations, Bill. There we go. So anyway, if anybody's got any questions, if any of our guests has got any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll be glad to see if we can coerce some information out of them. So, see, Bill is great for competition. Make sure just check in the chat. Lee's on his phone, so he can't see the chat. So I'm trying to just check everybody good in general in Southern Colorado. So anyway, it's going to be fun. We're getting ready to go down to Marksville, Louisiana this weekend. And I qualified for a 10-team cook-off. And I want to give a little shout-out about this. This is something, especially the Texas cookers, might want to check out now. So Marksville has always had two competitions. They've had a spring one in April, and then they have their fall one in November, which to me is one of the best competitions that we go to. And they have changed things after, I think, almost 20 years. And they are going to do something a little bit different this year. And what ended up happening is they told us, when you go to the spring cook-off in April, whoever finishes in the top 10 are going to be invited back to come cook in what is normally our big cook-off. Usually there's 45 teams in the November cook-off. You're able to come back and cooking in a 10-team shootout. $10,000 is up for grab. It's a $125 entry fee, and $5,000, that's right, $5,000 is for first place. It is for overall only. They will not call the individual meats, brisket, ribs, and chicken. We're not going to know. They're just going to say, okay, here's the results. 10th place overall finish. I think 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th gets $500. I think goes up from there. I think it's $5,000 for first, $1,500 I think for second, $750, and then they go into 6th, 7th through 10th. So it's a really cool deal. They're trying to make a real big deal about it. They want more people to come in April. They want me to kind of help promote this for them. And I told them as we got closer to that event that we would let them know. But if you come to that event in April and you make the top 10, then you're in for this. So I'm really excited. I've grand championed that one last year. I've won it 3 times. I think I'm the only team that's won it that many times in the fall. It's very, very hard to win that thing in the fall event just because of the amount of teams they have come down there. And so I'm pretty excited. The only thing that I'm very nervous about is I have not cooked a normal CBA or outlaw BCA cook-off in a very long time. So, I mean, I went to the Jack, I went up to American Roll. I mean, it seems like I've just been forever. And, sometimes when you're off that long, to me, I like to kind of cook at least once a month in the organizations that I do, just so you can kind of stay on top of the flavor profiles and stuff. And you really kind of can get a feel of, okay, I really talk a lot about that, but you've got to find out what's working and make little tweaks along the way. And so I'm excited to go, but I'm hopeful. My brisket, I won't change that brisket for nothing. So it needs two more. It needs
I won't
one for
change it either, Mike.
Yeah, it needs one for Marksville, and it needs one when I go up against Steve in freaking Dadgum Denton. I need at least two more times for me. So anyway, I'm just a little anxious. I really am wanting to. I changed up, as a lot of people know. I changed everything when I cooked the Jack and the Royal. Everything. I did not cook nothing that I cooked. It was all new rubs, all new injections, all new sauces, everything. And I'm telling you, man, all of it was really good food, and the rib let me down at the Jack, but it wasn't the rib's fault because it was an amazing rib. I thought it was probably one of the better recipes that I've come up with. It's just, I think the temperature wise, and I found out, I was telling everybody what had happened, why that rib was not tender at the Jack. But I cooked the same exact rib at the Royal. I got a 7th place in the Invitational and 20th in the Open. So it's a good rib, and I really want to run that in this coming weekend, but it is a toned down rib compared to what I normally cook. I toned everything down for the Jack and for the American Royal. So I'm just going to pull off what I've been doing, I'm just going to do what I always do, and we'll see what happens. So,
Mike, for those of us that are geographically challenged when it comes to Louisiana, where is Marksville?
It's central Louisiana.
Okay.
It's like 25 miles, 30 miles from Alexandria.
Okay.
So it's just pretty much right in the center. So you get through Alexandria, you're 30 minutes away from Alexandria to Marksville. So anyway, it's a fun competition. It's the Paragon Casino. So it's back behind it. So it is I think it's one of the top 10 RV parks in the United States or something, or Sam's something. I don't know. They got a golf course if you'd like to play golf that's right there by it. So it's a beautiful facility, and they treat you right down there. So I'm looking forward to that. But if you're looking how to get into that, how far from Shreveport? It's 2 hours and 20 minutes from Shreveport. So 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2.5 hours. I think it's 158 miles from my house to Marksville. So it's not far. So if you're looking to how do you get into that, well, you got to cook your way into it. So you'll come to the BCA competition that'll be in April. Top 10 it, you're automatically in for that. So
what do you cook in BCA? Is it chicken half?
Yeah, it's identical to Outlaw. Brisket, ribs, and chicken. Half chicken, ribs. So it'll be 7 slices, and 1/2 chicken.
Okay.
It's identical to
Outlaw. Yeah, that's
Outlaw.
exactly what we cook.
Yep. It's identical. Mm-hmm. So, matter of fact, Outlaw had that competition last year in the November deal.
Oh, that's right. That's the one where we did the competition and they did the ancillaries.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, you was there last year. Had the swimming pool. Right there in the little clubhouse. Had the swimming pool back behind. Did you go to it or not?
No, I didn't cook it.
Oh, you didn't cook it. Okay.
No.
Yep. So anyway. So put that on your list. I mean, we had about 42 teams there last year for the spring event. So might want to put it on your list. So let's see. Steve Cummey hasn't used the new Purvis rub. What are you using? Oh, asking for a friend. Congratulations. Glad to meet you this past weekend. That's from John. I got a couple of them. Shreveport. We got that. And we got Steve. Congrats, guys. So anyway. So, yep, I'm feeling anxious, and I'm almost overthought it today, and I was like, just quit trying to worry about the American Royal stuff. Let's just get back to what you did. So, and we'll see how it goes. So, anyway.
That's it. Chuck, how far will you travel for a cook-off?
Oh, we've went 8 hours, 8 hours before. I mean, that's, in West Texas, if we have one within 2 hours, that's
that's close for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are out in the middle of nothing. So I've been through that area once. I was like, man, there's nothing out here. So what about you, Steve? What's your distance?
I think the furthest I've driven is Dumas, which is probably 6.5 hours maybe for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Uvalde's going to be a long drive for me.
Yeah.
Seguin and Houston kind of are the ones I've done a few times that's a long drive. But there's so many cooks up here, North Texas, that I don't really have to go very
Hmm.
far, and I can cook pretty much every weekend. So
Yeah.
Right.
um, I
Yeah.
like to get out and see other people that I don't get to see as often, and cook in different regions and different rules, different organizations. But that's only just because I want to. I don't really have to do that to cook every weekend. So
Right. Right. Yep. 100%.
Hmm.
So yeah, I try to keep mine within 5 hours. That's
yeah,
about as far as I want to go, is about 5 hours. I mean, I'm pulling a massive trailer, so
yeah, good
it
point.
is it starts getting expensive, and if it pays a lot of money, yeah, I'll go for those. I mean, when I did the one in Henrietta, it was everybody was pressuring me. You got to go cook it. If you're going to make the outlaw bounty hunt, you need to go do it. And it was just one of them deals. Like Alan Freeman pretty much well said, "You ain't got no hair on your butt if you don't get out and go
Hmm.
do it." So I did, and I think it was about a 5 hour trip to get up there, and it was like 280 miles, I think. And I'm glad I did. I got reserve, and I got in the bounty hunt because of it. So. But
Right.
it was a big payout. I think it was a $10,000 payout. So it kind of makes it easy going that far for if it's a $10,000 payout. So yeah, if
Yeah.
not,
I can't hear you
Yeah.
guys.
check
We
if
can
you
hear
can.
you.
We can hear you. Maybe your speaker. Nope, he's gonna try it again.
Well, I'll tell you what. So when Chuck and Steve are sitting on number 5, number 6, it may not matter how much that payout is, and they may have a good chance of getting that seventh bung. So
Oh yeah.
sometimes you have to overlook the payout for the reward of getting the
Oh.
bung. You
Oh,
know.
now 100. I will 100% agree. I mean, if I was that close, if I had to drive 8 hours to go get a bung, I'd be driving 8 hours to go get
Yeah.
to put my name in the hat to try to get
Yeah.
it. So
Steve, my comment was, and you're sitting on number 5, number 6 bung, and you're going to forget about that payout. You're just going to go for the bung. You
Yep.
may drive 9, 10 hours to,
I'll, I'll,
if you
I
have
will,
to get that seventh.
I will find a cook that's going to have 26 teams at it.
there you go.
And
There you go. That's the way to do it.
You have to
Let's
do
see.
strategies. Yeah, you got to strategize and
Yeah.
make it work out for you.
Let's see.
yeah,
Mike, do you adjust your flavor profiles between BCA and CBA? I do not. I cook pretty much well when I cook in Texas or Louisiana. I cook the same exact food everywhere I go. IBCA, BCA, CBA, outlaw. It does not matter. The only reason, if so, what's the difference are you trying to achieve? Yeah, I don't change it. The only reason I changed it when I went to the Jack and when I went to the Royal is I just felt like the food that we cook here is just a lot more flavorful, and I got a lot more punch to it than what they are used to eating up there. So everybody kept telling me, cook what got you there when you go to the Jack, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to do that. So and that's why I changed everything. So I basically took everything and threw all the stuff out and came in here, and I've got about a cajillion rubs and stuff in here. And I started just putting things together that I thought would taste good, and I just basically toned everything down a little bit. So if you was wondering what I'm achieving, well, when I went out, to these places, it's older people, it's KCBS certified judges, and I just wanted to tone it back a little bit. I always say good barbecue travels. And I'm not scared to cook my stuff anywhere, but I think when you start getting in some of the KCBS, especially around Tennessee and Kansas, and Kansas City and stuff like that, my philosophy was to tone it back a little. It was still amazing. I mean, and I want to cook the rib that I cooked at the American Royal. I could take that same rib, just bump up the intensity level through injections and stuff, and I think it would be a phenomenal rib. But I've also got a pretty good rib right now, and I'm really not wanting to let it go. So that's going to be my backup. So anyway, yeah, so you're trying to find a happy medium in KCBS and BCA. Well, that's it. So whatever you're cooking in BCA, I would just say if you go to a KCBS, tone it back just a little bit, because that's what I did. I just gotta back it off. Now, if I was cooking a KCBS in Texas or Louisiana, I probably still pretty much will run the same thing. I may go a little saucier, but that'd be about it. So I hope that helps you. Oh goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Lee, got any questions for him?
No, I'm just proud of you guys, for taking classes. Well, Chuck, have you taken any classes? I mean, apparently Steve did, and you've been cooking since what, 4, 5, 6 years, Steve? And you took a pretty good class, and it's made a big difference in your cook.
It did. I started in 2018. I took a couple of classes here and there. I signed up for Arnie's online stuff years ago when he first started doing it, and I've been following that. And then I've done a couple of classes. I did your brisket class on Mike's Barbecue Champs Academy, and Robert Smith's class, because he used drums like I did, and I wanted to see somebody cook it on drums. And Justin West did a class up at Cosmo's place a while back. I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
And I've kind of incorporated little bits and pieces from everything, but Mike's was the first class where I really have. It's basically wholesale incorporated his chicken, and parts of his brisket and ribs too. But I'd been doing pretty well in those, but man, that chicken has just made all the difference.
Yeah, that was the Keeley Hill for. I think we had talked about this probably, and I know Lee and I and Aaron and a bunch of us have talked about, chicken is the most inconsistent thing that there is. It seemed like everybody's been plagued by chicken. And, last year I pretty much made it my mission to take the whole year to try some different things with chicken. And it cost me probably at least 3 grand champions. I know, because I had a second brisket, second rib, nothing on chicken. And that happened. I know back-to-back competitions. And if I'd get a chicken call, it'd be 7th one day and next time nothing. But I was trying things, and I tried a lot of different things. And I just literally was like, I got to get off the grill. I got to get back to my drum. And when I did, man, it was lights out. And I took all the techniques and things that I had learned on recipes and things like that and just brought it over to it. And man alive, what a difference. I mean, right off the get-go, a third place chicken, a third place chicken, a third place chicken. Yeah. And that chicken's been very good to me ever since. So
yeah. Chuck belongs to that. Chuck's part of that West Texas mafia. Those guys kind of come together, and I think they drink beer and they practice how they can slaughter us Central East Texas cookers.
Yeah. And look who just popped
speaking
up.
Speaking of West Texas mafia.
Yeah, right. Just soon as you popped up and say that, here comes Aaron in here. So, oh my gosh.
I think those guys collaborate. How can we go in there and just disrupt everybody at a cook-off? Let's roll in at midnight when they wake up in the morning. Surprise, fools! Here we are. The West Texas Mafia is here.
That's it.
God dang, those guys are good. So
yeah.
Chuck, so what do you think? Do you think for a new cook that's going to join any of the barbecue societies that they need to go out and maybe take a class, or just kind of trial and error, go in there and get beat up? Kind of what's your thought process on that?
Really and truly, I think one of the first things, in my opinion, they need to do before they even cook a competition is go judge one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Food, and kind of, go from there. I mean, that's what I did when we first started, and I believe that helped quite a bit. Of course, classes are going to give you the, I guess maybe a faster track, you know, than
Right.
you know, way back, you know, I guess probably I started in 2016, so probably, you know, 2015, 2016, and prior to that, there really wasn't any classes. I mean,
Right.
going there
You
and
had to go in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
but no, I really
Everybody kind of kept it hush back then too. I understand. Nobody really wanted to reveal any secrets.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I was lucky enough to you know, meet Aaron and you know, get a friendship with him, and you know, I guess I think it was 2018, 2019. You know, we were in San Angelo, Texas, and at that Republic of Texas cook-off, and before the contest Friday night, he comes up to me, him and Tommy Smith, you know, Paul Whitaker, you know, was there, and asked them guys, hey, you know, would you like to bring Chuck on the team? And you know, I was flabbergasted, you know, because I was like, you know, wow, this is
Right.
Yeah.
great, you know, and
That's some great people to learn from right there.
yeah, I mean, me, Paul, Tommy, Aaron, I mean, you know, we all bounce ideas off of one another and all that good stuff, you know. And
So what's the number one rule for the West Texas Mafia here? Hold my beer. Let's do this. What's the number one rule out there? Right? I mean,
I can tell you what Aaron's is. Aaron is don't let my solo cup run dry. That's what Aaron's is. So
yeah, we got that flowing Saturday morning, you know.
I bet. I bet. Yeah. Aaron will
well, I
want the
know one
brown
thing.
water.
Go ahead, Mike.
Aaron will want the brown water in the solo cup. I can tell you that. So
Yeah, I tell you what though, when Chuck Long and Aaron Leslie and Paul Whitaker and Tommy show up, it's a hoot, man. Those
oh,
guys. I mean, you can't help but laugh and hear all the lies and all the bull crap being told, and
yeah.
they just want to plant that seed in your head and get you all screwed up and mixed up. But man,
Yeah.
those guys they are. And Chuck was, you're absolutely right about Aaron and all those guys. It's not just barbecue family; they are family.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
everything about you guys is just very impressive. Us guys over here in Central and South Texas. So we appreciate everything you guys do because we know you have a long way to drive for anything. And you guys make barbecue fun to be around.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to some competitions and I'm sitting there, I'm like, Aaron, Chuck, Tommy, like, really? They had to show up here? You know, I
Right?
mean, it's bad enough when you got to try to compete against one of them. It's like, my gosh, I should just pack up my stuff and go home. I got all three of them to contend with. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like none of them drive anything small. You know, it's got to be 60 foot long or bigger
Oh,
just to
yeah.
drive down the highway, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ, man. These guys are something
Exactly.
else.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the first
They
time I
are.
showed up in Canton, Texas, uh, everybody was like, "What are you doing in Canton, Texas?"
Yeah.
It's a long haul, brother.
West Texas, we don't have offs this weekend, so here we are.
Right. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
yeah, had
West Texas, we are at all three of us went 1, 2, and 3.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
I,
man! So what do y'all run? Y'all run all chupacabra? Do you run all Texas oil dust? Do you just kind of mix and match Aaron stuff with Heath Riles? A little collaboration of everything out there. LC, just kind of hodgepodge it,
no,
or do y'all run pretty much the same recipes?
Hold on, let me get my notepad.
run.
yeah.
What does the West Texas Mafia run? We all want to know that.
But yeah, I'm running all of Aaron's stuff, all Texas oil dust. I mean, you know, it's done me good. There's no reason to start, you know, changing stuff up or anything like that. You know, in fact, this week I
There
hit
it is.
rib, and I
Yeah.
went back to an old recipe because I was getting maybe a little bit too crazy trying different stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go back to a rib that run a few years ago, and you know, then it's, you know, put my right back on track. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Do they
Mm-hmm.
do they tend to like a little heat on stuff and what's the flavor profile like in Midland? Is it sweet and savory? Is it sweet with a little back end heat?
Yeah, it's a little sweet with some back end heat.
Little back end heat, yeah. So I would have thought. I mean, if I was going that far out, that's what I would have shot for, sweet with some back end heat. So I would have.
Well, there's not that many barbecue restaurants to compare barbecue to, is there? Is it pretty much Aaron's place? Is there many other barbecue restaurants that you can kind of flavor compare to?
In Midland, I think there's maybe a couple, down there, but just my brisket. We've had a brisket that recipe hadn't changed in, I don't know, 3 years. I mean, it's just a brisket.
Yep.
Of course, as y'all know, it's not going to hit every time. It's gonna
Right.
but it's all it's always hanging in there. And
Yeah.
so when you find something that works, watch
You
it.
bet.
Yeah.
Right.
I raced dirt track circle cars years ago, and with this barbecue stuff, when you're racing, if you're in second place, you might be able to do something about it.
Yeah.
But when in barbecue, once you close the lid to that box,
Yeah.
you're done. There ain't nothing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
But
It's just so much speculation with the judges. What are they wanting? Are these people gonna like sweet and heat? They gonna like savory? I mean, it's they want super salsa, they want light sauce. That's the problem. It's just the game that we all play and hope we guessed right that day, and that's it.
Chuck,
So,
do you sauce your brisket face? Steve, do you also? Are you a saucer? Not a glazer, but a saucer. Do you sauce your brisket?
No,
yeah,
no, I don't.
Cross mine.
yeah.
So, Steve, I'll do it.
I take that back. When you say not glaze but sauce, I will put a little bit of sauce on the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't sauce the slices or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
It's mostly au jus.
Right.
Well, Dust Brandon oil hits my brisket every time.
Yeah. That's some good stuff.
It's just a good product, and like all of Aaron's stuff, it's
Right.
Yeah, it tastes good. It tastes good.
the Midland Meat Company briskets. I mean,
Oh, they're good briskets.
I don't
They
want
are.
anything else.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have them. I get them shipped out to me.
yeah.
So that's what I cook.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, do you rely on Aaron to get your briskets for you? Or do you walk in there yourself and kind of get them? Because I think he would probably hold the best ones for him and give you kind of like third-rate briskets, knowing Aaron.
Yeah. I'll can you get me a brisket this weekend or whatever?
Right. So you're pretty much you're a Midland meat guy then.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
I got you.
I like.
in my opinion, those are the best briskets around.
You see that? Hey Lee, take the class.
I see that.
It's in the class. If you want to know everything there, it's in the class. Take the class. Oh my gosh.
I love it, man.
That's awesome. God.
About the Midland meat. They when I call them, I'll order 3-4 briskets at a time. But they're not shy about telling me they don't have good ones.
Really?
If they don't have competition briskets, they won't sell them to me. So
Okay.
Aaron doesn't cook all of them. That's what it is. He goes in there and probably hoards everything up.
Yeah.
I've often wondered that.
He does. Come on, man. You know you do. You go in there like, man, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to keep all these. Yeah, y'all can have the rest. So, oh my gosh. So you cook Midland meat? Is that what you cook, Steve?
Mostly when I can get them. If not those, then I'll cook the Imperials from South from a Costco.
He cooks. Look at this. I cook the little ones. The little ones to him. Hey, his little one starts at 20 pounds. Yeah. He's a 20-pound and up is where he's at. So, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, guys, look, I really do appreciate y'all coming on, man. Chuck, congratulations. Big, huge cook-off this weekend. And we've never had you on the show. I'm glad you was able to take a little time off and come over and hope your surgery and stuff goes well, that you have some good
Yeah.
results, that you ain't bedridden or laid up for a while where you can't go cook. We enjoy seeing you out there cooking. And, anybody, you got any sponsors, anybody you want to thank?
Man, Texas Oil Dust. I mean,
There you go. Take the class.
oil dust, man.
Yeah, there it is right there. Just take the class. So, he's got one. Where's it at? There it is. Take the class. So we'll just leave that one up right there. Oh goodness. Well, Steve, man, I really want to congratulate you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to see the results that you've gotten since you took the class that we had here. And man, I wish you all the best to get those 7. Just keep on keeping on.
Oh, thank you.
You got any sponsors you want to thank?
I don't have any sponsors.
Okay.
Pay for all my stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Earn it the hard way. So anyway, well, guys, I hope y'all all the best of luck coming up. And Steve, may your name be called second at the Denton Cook-Off, and I just want to be one above you. So anyway, it's going to be a fun time there, that's for sure. So if y'all haven't looked at that cook-off, it's in Denton, Texas. It's an outlaw cook-off, first weekend in December. I think it's about 60 teams. It's a $20,000 payout, and
if you were a member by November 1st,
for the added money. For the added money, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. If not, just come cook it. It's going to be a fun cook-off. So
yeah, there's still a payout. So.
Yeah, still a payout. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate y'all being here tonight. We really thank y'all for giving us a little of your time. And to all our listeners out there, thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. We'll, Lord willing, be back with you next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And we'll have you another show. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. As we always say on the end of our classes, go out there, have a lot of fun.